I had a couple come to me that felt a little stuck. They found a new house that they wanted to buy, great neighborhood, right size, checked every box, but they had not sold their current home yet, and they had no idea how to make both transactions work at the same time. They thought they had two options, either sell first and then hope they find something fast, or buy first and then carry two mortgages. Neither one of those options felt like the right one. What they didn't know is there was a third option, a fourth option, and honestly, a fifth. And by the time we closed on their current home, they had 60 days to stay in it, zero pressure, and they found exactly the right next house without making a single desperate decision. If you are thinking about upsizing in Atlanta and you can't figure out how to get from house A to house B, this video is for you. I'm going to go through every option that I use with my own clients to make this transition work. Borrowing against your current home, contingency offers, and the one strategy that most people have never heard of that lets you stay in your house for up to 60 days after you close. By the end of this video, you are going to have a completely different picture of what's actually possible. Let's start why this feels so complicated, because it is, well, if you don't know your options. Most upsizing buyers in Atlanta are sitting on a significant amount of equity in their current home. And that equity is exactly what they need to fund their next purchase. The problem is it's locked up in the house and they're living in it, and you can't just reach in and grab it while you're still living there. Or most people think. And then there's the timing problem. Real estate transactions don't always line up perfectly. You find the house you want before yours sells, or your house sells before you find the next one, and now you're worried about where you're going to go. Either way, you're exposed, and you're either carrying two mortgages or you're scrambling to find somewhere to live. So here's what I tell every upsizing client that I work with. There are more tools available to you than you think, so let's go through them. The first option is borrowing against the equity in your current home to fund the down payment on the next one. There are a few ways to do this, and I want to keep it very simple because, listen, I am a real estate agent. I am not a mortgage lender, and you should absolutely talk to a lender about which of these makes sense for your specific situation. If you need someone to talk to, let me know. I will hook you up. Okay, the first one that we're going to talk about is a home equity line of credit. It's also called a HELOC. Think of it like a credit card that's backed by your home. You get pre-approved for a limit based on your equity, and then you borrow only what you need. And then you only pay interest on what you actually use. This is flexible, and it's a common way to pull out a down payment without touching your primary mortgage or your primary mortgage's interest rate. The second is a home equity loan. This is a lump sum loan. You borrow a set amount, you get it all at once, and you pay it back monthly like a second mortgage. It's a little more predictable, less flexible. The third is a cash out refinance. This replaces your existing mortgage with a new, larger one, and the difference comes to you as cash. This one made a lot more sense when interest rates were really low. Right now, this is worth running the numbers carefully with your lender before going this route. All right, let's keep this simple. Let's say your home today is worth $700,000 and you owe $300,000 on it. You have around $400,000 in equity sitting there. You don't have to sell the house to access some of that. You can borrow against it, and you can use it as a down payment on the next home, and then when your current one sells, you pay it back. Your lender is going to walk you through exactly which one of these options makes the most sense for you. They're going to base it on your income, interest rate, and your specific situation. Option 2, making a contingent offer on your next home. A contingent offer means that you make an offer on the house that you want to buy, but that offer is contingent on your current home selling first. You're essentially telling the seller, hey, I want this house and I will buy it as soon as mine sells. Now, I want to be honest with you about this one because the market matters big time here. In a hot market with multiple offers, sellers are not going to wait around for your house to sell when they have non-contingent buyers lined up. You won't even be in the running. But in a market like Atlanta right now, where things have slowed down a little bit, inventory has built up, contingent offers are being accepted more than I have seen in years. Sellers are more willing to work with you, but the key here is to look at homes that maybe have been on the market 30, 60, 90 days. What's going to be tough is when a home hits the market on Thursday, by Thursday night, they have a non-contingent offer in hand, and then you try to put in an offer contingent on your home selling. Again, you will not even be in the running. This option is going to be case by case, really house by house, and it just depends on the attention that that house has gotten. The key to this one is going to be how you position your offer. Your home, the one you're selling, needs to be priced right. Ideally already on the market, or maybe you're a few days from being on the market. The stronger your situation looks, the more likely a seller is to accept or even consider that type of offer. It's not a perfect solution, but in the right situation, it can work. All right. You're going to be mad at me for option 3 and you're going to hate it, but I'm just going to throw it out there. Rent temporarily between transactions. I know this one is not glamorous. Moving is an absolute pain, and especially if you have to do it twice. It's terrible. You have storage units, pods, living out of boxes for a couple months. Nobody loves it. Nobody wants it. But here's what it does buy you. Zero pressure. When you've already closed on your current home and the equity is sitting in your account, and you're renting month to month with no timelines, nothing hanging over you, you make completely different decisions about the next house. You're not overpaying because you're desperate. You're not settling for something that's almost right because you have nowhere else to go. You shop clearly and then you move at your own pace, and you will wait for the right house to come on the market. I've had clients do this, and every single one of them has always said the same thing afterward. It was a pain, it was terrible, but it was absolutely worth it. The stress of moving twice was nothing compared to the stress of making a $1 million decision under pressure. Sometimes the cleanest move really is the simplest one. Option 4, temporary occupancy after closing. Most people don't realize that closing day doesn't have to be the day you have to be moved out of your house. You can negotiate to stay in your home after closing for up to 60 days. 60 days is what a mortgage lender will allow your buyer before it affects their primary residence status. You pay the new owner a daily rate, and I will tell you, a lot of times, if you're not extremely difficult and you were nice to deal with, a lot of buyers will give this to you as a courtesy. Think about what that means. The sale is done, the equity is in your pocket, and you're still living in your house while you are trying to find the right home. There's no scrambling, there's no making a desperate decision because you have nowhere to go. This one is one of the most underutilized tools in real estate. And this is one of those things that you have to negotiate up front as part of the contract negotiation, not after. So you can't get under contract with a buyer and then 2 weeks later go, oh, by the way, can we have temporary occupancy? It doesn't work that way. You have to negotiate this from the get-go. Some sellers only need 2 or 3 weeks. A lot of times I see it's very normal to ask for like 30 days, no problem. Others need the full 60, but having that runway changes everything about how you shop for your next home. But I will tell you, in this situation, you need to find the right buyer, because the right buyer maybe they're under a tight timeline and they have to be moved. So you got to have these conversations before you go under contract to see if this is an option for you. Before you do anything else, call a lender. I don't want you to get pre-approved, just to have a conversation. Tell them what you're thinking. Tell them about what you think your home is worth, about what you owe, what you're trying to buy next. They will tell you exactly what tools are available to you based on your numbers. That conversation costs you nothing, and it changes everything about how you plan to do something like this. If you need someone here in Georgia, let me know. I have a great somebody for you to call. Then call your real estate agent, and if you're in Atlanta, call me. Find out what your home is worth right now. What could you sell it for in this market? What does the timeline look like? What strategy makes the most sense for you given all of this information? These are not complicated conversations to have, but most people never have them until they're already under pressure. Have them early and you will never feel stuck. If you are thinking about upsizing in Atlanta and you are trying to figure out how to make the timing work, my number is on the screen. You can call me or text me. This is my cell phone number. And hey, if this video was helpful, then check out this next one. These are the things I would not update when selling my house. I hope to see you over there.